Ever wondered, can I even get a COVID vaccine right now? If you have, you're definitely not alone. With all the headlines, changing rules, and endless updates, it's no wonder so many people are scratching their heads, trying to figure out what's actually going on. The world of COVID vaccines is a bit like a maze. Just when you think you've found the exit, someone moves the walls. Spoiler alert, it's not as simple as rolling up your sleeve and saying, "Let's go." In fact, the process can feel more like trying to book a last-minute concert ticket for your favorite band. Except the band keeps changing, the venue moves, and sometimes the tickets disappear altogether. Why do 73% of people still feel confused about COVID vaccine rules? Well, it's not just you. The rules are different everywhere, and they keep changing. One day you're eligible, the next day you're not. Or maybe you need a booster, but only if you meet certain criteria. It's enough to make anyone's head spin. So, who can actually get a COVID vaccine? And how do you go about it? Let's break it down because the answer is a lot more complicated than you might think. First, let's talk about eligibility. Who can get a COVID vaccine? The answer? It depends on where you live, your age, your health, and sometimes even your job. In some countries, the rules are pretty straightforward. Everyone over 18, come on down. It's like a game show, and all you have to do is show up. But in other places, things get a lot more specific. There might be different rules for kids, seniors, pregnant people, or those with certain medical conditions. And then there are the boosters. Oh boy, that's a whole new level of complexity. For example, some countries have approved vaccines for children as young as 6 months, while others are still debating whether to offer them to anyone under 18. Seniors might be prioritized in one place, while in another, frontline workers or people with chronic illnesses get first dibs. And if you're immunocompromised, you might be eligible for extra doses or special types of vaccines. Pause, mock dramatic. Some countries say, everyone over 18 come on down, and it feels like a celebration. But in reality, the rules can change overnight. One day, you're eligible for a booster, the next day, the guidelines shift, and you're not. It's a moving target, and keeping up can feel like a full-time job. Others have special rules for kids, seniors, or people with health conditions. And boosters? That's a whole new ballgame. Some places offer boosters to everyone, while others limit them to high-risk groups or people who got their last dose a certain number of months ago. And just when you think you've figured it out, a new variant comes along and the rules change again. Yeah, that's a whole new ballgame. There are different types of vaccines, different brands, and different schedules. Some people need 2 doses, others need 3 or even 4. And then there are the mix and match rules. Can you get a different brand for your booster? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It's enough to make your head spin. Sometimes it's just for high-risk folks. Sometimes it's get in line. And sometimes the rules change so quickly that even the healthcare workers aren't sure what's going on. It's a constantly shifting landscape, and staying informed is half the battle. So, how do you actually get the shot? The process can be just as confusing as the eligibility rules. Now let's talk logistics. Do you need an appointment? Can you just walk in? Do you need to bring anything with you? The answers vary wildly depending on where you are. In some places, you can book online, show up at a clinic, or even get vaccinated at your school or workplace. In others, you might need to call ahead, fill out paperwork, or wait for an invitation from your local health authority. And don't forget to bring your ID, your health card, and sometimes even proof of previous vaccinations. Some places let you walk in. Others want a reservation, like you're at a fancy restaurant. And just like a popular restaurant, sometimes there's a long wait, or you might get turned away if they run out of doses. Pause, chuckle. Table for 1, with a side of vaccine, please. And don't forget to tip your nurse with a smile. They've been working overtime to keep everyone safe. Of course, it gets messy. Shortages, rule changes, and confusing booster updates. Sometimes you might show up for your appointment only to find out the clinic is out of doses, or the rules have changed since you booked. It's frustrating, but it's all part of the process. Quick quiz, true or false, everyone over 12 can get a booster. If you said true, you might be surprised. The answer is actually false. It totally depends on where you live, what vaccines are available, and what the current guidelines are. False. It totally depends where you live. In some countries, boosters are available to everyone over 12. In others, only seniors or people with certain health conditions can get them. And in some places, boosters aren't available at all yet. So what do? The best thing is to check your local health website, have your ID ready, and don't be afraid to ask questions. If you're not sure, call your doctor or local clinic. They're there to help, and they've probably heard your question 100 times before. And remember, the rules can change quickly. What's true today might not be true tomorrow, so stay flexible, stay informed, and don't be afraid to double-check before you head out. Fun fact, in some places, people book their vaccine years ahead. Now that's planning. Imagine putting a vaccine appointment on your calendar for 2025. It sounds wild, but for some, it was the only way to guarantee a spot. The bottom line, COVID vaccine rules are complicated, but you can handle it. It might take a little patience, a little research, and maybe a few phone calls, but you'll get there. And when you do, you'll be doing your part to keep yourself and your community safe. So, if you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more no-nonsense health tips. We're here to help you navigate the twists and turns of health news one step at a time. Stay safe, stay informed, and remember, you've got this.